Hey guys, just wanted to welcome you back to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Lola. So today I'm going to do my boob journey video. I'm going to do it almost like a question and answer type video, and I'll put the list of questions and the time in the description box below so that guys can skip ahead or know which question you got to if this is too long a video, and that way you can come back into it or watch it, like finish watching it when you want to. I'm sure this is going to be a long one. Obviously I've got quite a long journey to explain to you all, so we better get started really. Question: when did I start my journey? So my journey started on the 31st of May 2018, 2 years ago. Yeah, oh, 2.5 now, isn't it? Or almost 2.5. This question is where did I go to have my implants done? So I am from the UK, if you didn't already know that, but I actually went over to Belgium for my surgery. UK just doesn't do expander implants for the reason that I wanted expander implants. They do have expander implants in the UK, but they're known as tissue expanders, and they're usually used for when ladies have had breasts removed due to cancerous reasons or other reasons. I'm not saying that everyone has them removed due to cancer, but that's most of the time that is the reason. What type of implants do I have? I have custom made expander implants, so they're made to be 2000cc, and I have obviously stretched them a little bit up to 2500cc. Start off with a small amount in them, so and then grow them over time. So that brings us on to our next question of why did I get expander implants? Well, I chose expanders because I knew that I wanted to grow bigger than the average implant size that you could have in the UK, and I wanted as minimal surgery as possible. I'd never had surgery of any kind before I had my implants done. I'm not going to jinx it by saying it, but I'd never had surgery for any reason. So for me, expanders were a good choice because that way I could start off with a small amount and grow over time, having minimal surgery. So why did I get implants to begin with? I have always wanted bigger boobs, even when I was at school. I didn't really have much boob when I was at school. I was quite a lot smaller than I am now, weight-wise. So I only really grew boobs after I left school and sort of put on some weight, and then I realised that actually I quite like having boobs. This is quite nice. Tops look better. For me personally, I felt that tops looked better on, and I found clothes fit better rather than having nothing really there to begin with. I just felt that it was nicer having a little bit of boob. So it sort of made me think, oh, well, maybe one day, you know, I'll get implants, have bigger boobs. I never at that point imagined growing to the size that I am now. But I definitely don't regret it. I love my current size. I'm happy with them as they are at the moment. I'm happy with the shape, I'm happy with the size. I don't rule out going bigger in the future. That's why I've got the expanders. It's easier to do. Obviously, as you guys know, I've met a couple of the big boob community. Love them. Like, I met Lily 4K when she was 4K, and obviously I've met her at 8K. She looks great at both sizes, and whenever I've seen her, I'm like, I need to go your size. So, you know, who knows, I might end up being 4K one day, you never know. Next question: why did I go so big? Why did I have expanders and go so big with them? So I don't know if a lot of you know, but quite a few will know that a couple of years ago, before I had my surgery, so it must have been 3 years ago, I went to a premiere of a movie which was made called Codename Diablo. I'll put the link to the movie page in the description down below. That'll be an Instagram link. It was made by a guy in Brighton, and it's an action movie, big boobs, latex, guns. It's really good fun. And the 3 ladies who played the main characters, which you guys will know, doing a sort of meet and greet and premiere in Brighton. Now, that's a long way away from my house. It's about 3.5, maybe 4 hours depending on traffic. So my husband and I, who was my boyfriend at the time, we went to Brighton and we met them and we watched the film and we met Dre, the guy who made the movie. It was a really, really good weekend. We stayed overnight in Brighton in a hotel, and we just literally had such a good time. In the movie is obviously Martina Big, who wasn't at the premiere, Lily 4K and Mary Madison Love. And instead of Martina Big being there, we had Dolly Fox there, who is brilliant fun. So we met all three of those lovely ladies, and we actually won a competition. We won a competition to have lunch with them on the day that we were watching the premiere. So within 5 minutes of sitting with them, we literally felt like we were chatting with old friends, and I still talk to all three of them now. They're such lovely people, so I'll put their Instagrams down below too if you want to go and check them out. But yeah, they're just such nice people. We had a lovely time. So from meeting them, I really liked Dolly's boobs, and I told her that I really liked her boobs, and so she actually gave me her surgeon's info. And so when I got home, I sent him an email and put in basically that I really like Dolly's boobs, you did them, I'd really like to come and meet you and have a chat and see if you can do the same sort of thing for me, see how it would work. And he actually called me a few days later. We had a little chat over the phone and I ended up booking a consultation. We went over to Belgium and we had a consultation in January, and from that consultation paid a deposit and booked my surgery for the 31st of May the same year. So I had 5 months to wait, which was torture at the time, but these things always tend to go fast when you look back and think, oh my gosh, it didn't actually feel that long. So then I went over in the May and had my surgery, my first ever surgery. I'm gonna do another video on the actual surgery experience and that type of thing. So we'll just keep this one as basic as possible for now, because I know that it's just going to end up being hours long otherwise. Let's do what are expander implants. So expander implants it's a silicone shell filled with saline. It has a little round metal disc in the implant, now with a layer of silicone over the top, obviously, so that you can basically put the needle in. It hits the metal disc, you know you're in the right place. Not me, my surgeon. He knows he's in the right place, and he can add more saline with me being awake. Like I said, I wanted as minimal surgery as possible. I didn't want to have multiple surgeries, but unfortunately this is what happened. So because my natural breast tissue was at the front, to try and find the valve was proving quite difficult. Now the way that he finds the valve is by using a magnet, which is almost like on a stick, and it points to where the metal disc is under your skin. Like I said, because I had the natural breast tissue, I was a D naturally. So, well, a large C, a small D, because I just lost 2 stones, so my boobs had shrunk a little. My surgeon unfortunately said to me, look, we are going to have to do this under anaesthetic. I can't find the valve, therefore I don't want to risk puncturing the implant and me having to have emergency surgery. It would be much better, much safer for him to do it under anaesthetic in an operating theatre. And that way, he said to me, what we can do is I can make the pocket bigger while I'm there. We can add a larger amount with you being asleep, rather than you adding a smaller amount and having a fill while awake. So I went back in January because I didn't have any holiday left that year. I could have had it done in December, but unfortunately I was working for a company where I'd used all my holiday that year on the previous surgery, so I had to wait until January. So in the January I went back to Belgium again and saw the same surgeon, and he did the second surgery. In my first surgery I had 780 cc's. into the expanders, which could be made up to 2000 and stretched a little after. My second surgery, I had 1640 cc's, so that is an added 860 cc's. So for my second surgery, I actually had more added than the first one, which to me was so baffling at the time. I was like, this is mad. Adding more the second time around. I thought it would be easier to add more the first time, and then like the bigger you go, the more difficult it would be to add extra, but that's what happened at that time. So that was my second surgery, and that was in the January of 2019. The next step in my journey is the fills. So my first fill, I went on my birthday, and I had another 240 cc's added. That took me up to 1880 cc's. There were a lot of pictures all over my Instagram if you want to see the progression pictures, by the way. I'll link that down below as well. My second fill, I went back in June, again over to Belgium. Of my husband and I, we all go to Belgium for Grass Pop Festival in June. Well, I say we go. We went for 3 years, and unfortunately this year would have been the first year we didn't go because we were supposed to be going to Disneyland instead for our honeymoon, but unfortunately lockdown and coronavirus had other ideas, so we didn't end up going to Disney, and we didn't end up going to Grass Pop, which my husband was very sad about. But unfortunately it's one of those things at the moment, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on. My second fill was in June 2019, so that was literally only 2 months after the first one. And this time we added another 300 cc's, and that took me up to 2180 cc's. Now my goal was always to get between 2000 and 2500, because between those sizes was where Dolly was when I really liked the size that she was at, and the shape, how they sit. So it was always my dream goal to hit 2000 and maybe 2500, depending on how I felt at that time. So after my second fill, there was a big jump until my third one, because I actually got married between those two. So I had to make sure that my wedding dress would fit. I couldn't then go and get another fill before I got married in the September. So we had to wait for the third fill, which happened to be in November, which is my husband's birthday month. So he felt like all his Christmases and birthdays had come at once. Bless him. So I then went over again in November and went up to 2500 cc's. We added another 320, which was brilliant. I finally hit the target, the top of the target that my goal was to get. I had a few questions on Instagram that I want to add to the end of this video. Obviously I've tried to do it like a Q&A. I think I've forgotten to put a couple of the questions in, but I'll make sure I write them down below so you know that that's what I'm talking about in that section, so that you guys can skip if you want to skip, or watch it all in one, then that's obviously up to you. So I'm going to find the questions that I had, because I want to make sure that I'm obviously putting in all the information that you guys want to know. Obviously I'm going to do a surgery video separate to this, because I think it would just make it too long. So I think so this one was talk about what made you decide to do it, how large you were thinking of going, and what are your goals with the large implants. Much love. Well, much love back. Thank you for the support over the years. I know you've been there pretty much since the beginning. I won't say people's names because I don't know if they want them to be read out. So I've pretty much covered what made me decide. Like, I always wanted them. And then it was obviously meeting the ladies in Brighton. And I'll say like Dolly in particular, because I liked hers and really liked hers, that I obviously went to her surgeon and got the same thing done. So kind of what made me do it, kind of seeing hers, seeing how nice they looked on her and how well she wore them. Yeah. So thank you, Dolly. And thank you for all the support to Dolly over the years, because I would not have been able to have done this without her. Again, I will link down below because she is awesome. Next question. What's it like living with huge boobs? again, thank you for the support over the years. You have definitely been there since the beginning. I'm gonna do another video on that, I think. So someone said, how does it feel to fill the implants? So I lie down and my surgeon will stand to one side or the other to do one at a time. He will do an X. The magnet is telling him that the valve is. He will then use a needle. It's a really quite long, thin, really tiny, thin needle. And he will put that in, which will attach to a tube, which attaches to a syringe. So putting the needle in, literally maybe like feels like a pinprick. It's not overly painful, pretty painless. Then obviously that's attached, or it is already attached to a tube, and then he will attach the syringe every time that he fills the syringe, and then obviously attaches it to put in so much at a time. Syringe is 60 cc, so we only have 60 cc at a time that he does at once, and then he'll fill it up again using the saline bottle, and he'll put that into the syringe and then reattach the syringe to the tube, which goes through the needle into the implant. So the first couple of times that he attaches the syringe and puts, obviously you have to push it in, you can't really feel anything at all. It's only when it gets to like the third, fourth, fifth syringe that basically you can almost feel it like expanding, but it's more a case of your chest gets tighter. So you know, like when you struggle to breathe, it almost feels like which sounds really bad, but it's not bad. It's just, that's the only way I can think to describe how it feels, is like a tightening of the chest. Now obviously each time I had a fill, the amount that we added increased. So the more fills that I'd had, the more that we added, the tighter my chest would feel by the end, because obviously we're adding more. So I ended up going to a memorial in Ypres, in Belgium, after my third fill, watching the last post memorial that they do every day. I had actually seen it before, but my husband hadn't, so we'd gone to do that. And so being stood up for an hour and a half to 2 hours did cause me to have some pain. It was literally only in the one breast. It was it was the side. It's always the sides that I get the pain, if ever I get pain, because if I stand up for too long, I get pain in the sides. I'm guessing that's just because of that's where it's stretched the most. I mean, obviously they come out quite a bit further than my rib cage. My rib cage is here, and obviously boob is out here. So, I'm sorry, I should put it like here to here. So they come out quite far compared to my ribs, which means that skin is all stretched at the side. It's not just a case of coming out at the front, they also come out at the side. So I always tend to wear a sports bra for that reason, because, well, A, you can't get bras to fit my size comfortably, and B, sports bras are just brilliant, they fit. How big do you want to go? So I had a lot of these questions. How big? What size are you? What size are you going to? So I started off with a natural large C, small D. I can't really tell you what size I am now. I can tell you what size I was before my last fill, and that was a 34 double J or a 36J, which was slightly more comfortable. That's UK sizing. But I don't actually own any bras, and I haven't been to have them measured since my last fill in November. I'm not entirely sure what size they are now, but when the shops reopen, maybe I'll find some time to be able to go and get measured again, so that I can let you guys know, because I'm not actually sure. Obviously I'm 2,500 cc. It's not obviously a bra size, but my goal was always to get to 2,500, but I am not ruling out going bigger in the future. I'm just not doing it right now. There are a few things I want to do personally. I need to strengthen my back again. Carrying these around takes a lot of work, so I'd like a stronger back to be able to deal with that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Someone said, what made you decide to get expanders? So I chose expanders because I knew that I wanted to go a lot bigger. Like I said, my goal was to get between 2,000 and 2,500. Save getting the extra surgeries in between to get to that size. I mean, if I'd have had surgeries, that probably would have been 3 or 4. I mean, I'm lucky that I managed to get away with just having the 2. So, like, recovering after surgery is not easy, and it's certainly not fun. Again, I will definitely make a second video about the surgery experience itself, because surgery and recovery, because that is again another big subject that I've got a lot of experience in. So we can chat about that in the next one. So someone asked, what were your doubts along the way as you were making key choices? That's a really good question. I guess I almost didn't have the second surgery because the recovery of the first one was so hard, so painful. I wasn't expecting it to be as sore as I found it. A lot of people say that they can just get over surgery, but because I'd never had surgery before and didn't really know what to expect, that was quite painful for me. So I guess that was a doubt as to whether to have the second surgery, whether this was really the right choice for me, whether I really wanted to do this journey. So that was quite a big doubt. But yeah, because I always knew that I wanted to go bigger, I kind of saw it as a means to an end. And I knew that everyone told me, you know, your first surgery is always the worst. Yeah, my second surgery was so much better than my first one, because I knew what to expect. And actually I didn't find it as painful. But I don't think I had any other doubts. Once I knew that I wanted to be at that size and this was how I got there, it just kind of fell into place, and things that happened along the way happened. I just kind of rolled with them. So I hope that answers your question. So hopefully that video has gone over all the questions that you guys had about my boob journey and covered most of the journey itself. If there are any questions that I maybe haven't answered in this video that you guys had, then pop me a comment down below and I will try to get back to you. I've pretty much answered every single comment on my videos on here so far. Again, I will be making a surgery and recovery video. I'll try to do that next, I think, because it sort of links in with this video, and then I can put them both in a playlist together. I've already got a playlist ready to go for everything boob journey related, so I can pop them both in there, and then people that are looking for that particular thing can find that. If you are looking to have boob job surgeries, then feel free to send me a DM on @lifewithlola20 on Instagram, and if there's anything that I can help you with, then just let me know over there. Or equally, pop a comment down below. It might help someone else if you ask me a question and they had the same question, and then it's all in the same place. It's up to you if you want to be discreet about it. I will answer my DMs on lifewithlola20 on Instagram. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.